All right, here we go. We're live. How is everyone doing? Let's get a quick audio and visual check as usual. Thank you all very much for tuning in to this one. Been a little while since I've done a live stream, and we're gonna roll with this to see how it goes. So I'm just waiting for a few comments here to let me know everything's all right. And I'm ready to get into it because we have yet another very, very interesting little bit of price action for Bitcoin right here. So I am definitely excited to cover this with you. Bear with me while I just get this set up. I actually already had it set up, but I messed it up when I hit go live. All right, perfect. All right, well, here we go. Bitcoin ended up pumping up above $42,000. We're now sitting at about $43,000, which is good. And we've overcome the main area of resistance. Now, we haven't overcome it by a lot. The main area of resistance for me has always been $42,000, just that general range. And you know, where we are right now is about 2% above that resistance area. So I'd like to see us clearing 3%, which we haven't been able to hit yet. That's going to put us at about $43,400. That's about 3%. Sorry, 43,200, something like that. Roughly around there is going to put us at about, you know, a 3% breakout above the key resistance area that I was keying. Let's just say 43.5 for the sake of simplicity. And that's where I'm going to say that, yeah, we have cleared the bulk of this resistance here. And obviously that has huge connotations because, as you've seen with the title of this live stream, this is quite a rare Bitcoin breakout, right? We could be looking at, you know, potentially a $10,000 Bitcoin pump. And I fully believe that that's actually what we're headed for right now, because, you know, really there's just not a lot of resistance until we rise up by about another, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 until we reach about 47,000. We're just not. I don't have any reason to expect resistance here, and it's the same thing I've been talking about for a while. So if you're subscribed, this is not new to you. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and fix that now. But this is it's quite clear to me, you know, in my opinion, these are the only 3 occasions where Bitcoin has ever traded in this range, other than, you know, small exceptions like right here and what we're doing at the moment. You know, Bitcoin really has not traded in this range very much throughout its price history, and when it did, it would usually just spike right up to the next yellow line, right? So, you know, if it's dropping down, it's going to spike down to the next one. Didn't quite reach it on this occasion, but that's fine. And then dropping down on this occasion, small fake out here, and then the next time it just completely drops through the floor over here down to the next line of support that we had drawn. So we actually predicted this drop. This was not something that took us by surprise here on the 4Flies channel, and of course not even in 4Flies VIP. A lot of members made profits off these kind of drops, which was absolutely great. And you know, because of that, I'm expecting a similar thing to happen right here. I'm expecting Bitcoin to be able to rise quite nicely to the upside from here. We've cleared the resistance. This has been big resistance for a long time. We haven't cleared it by a lot, but you know, you got to rise by 2% before you can rise by 3, right? So I'm gonna give this a little bit of time. I'm gonna wait for this to see how this goes. At the moment, I'm not happy with the breakout. It's not as strong as I would have liked to see. But the reason I'm not actually concerned about it is if we look at this on the 1 hour time frame right here, we can see that, you know, we started to pump up with this candle. Obviously, this was a big, and this is really interesting, by the way. I'm gonna compare this to the US dollar. The US dollar actually went up like during these hours, and the US dollar stopped rising on this candle, but it's still up. So I don't know what happened there. That's really weird. Like it's very, very like strange how this worked, and I'm going to show it to you in a little bit because I don't know what conclusions to draw based off this, but I'm going to be talking to you guys about it, seeing what you guys have in your mind as thoughts right here. But, you know, we are right now consolidating here, which I think is a great thing for the market. You know, being able to consolidate above resistance is absolutely huge. And, you know, if we're able to get that daily close above this level on the Universal Time Zone, UTC, then I think we are, you know, we're going to be in a great spot. And, you know, that close is coming in about, you know, 3-4 hours. So as long as we kind of close above this level, I think this is huge. Possibility of dropping down, it's absolutely still there. I think I would only be expecting Bitcoin to fall down to, 42, down to maybe 40,000 at a stretch. I wouldn't really expect Bitcoin to fall below 40,000 right now. To be honest, I don't think it's going to fall lower than maybe even 42. And that's because it was very heavy resistance, right? So if this was a real breakout, which I do think it is, we've got all the volume and, we've already attempted it. We had the beautiful support retest, which you actually can't see on this chart, but I'll show you that in just a moment. We've used it as good resistance. It's been a tricky point for the market for a while. And I think we've spent enough time up here now where this is actually the longest time Bitcoin has spent above this resistance level since we fell down, since May. Previously when we kind of hit these levels, we spiked up for a matter of only an hour or two max on only 2 occasions. But today, we have spent a number of hours above this level consecutively, and that to me is just all the strength that I need to see, in my opinion. Someone's asking me about the US infrastructure bill this weekend. I don't keep up with US politics because it drives me fucking crazy, but actually I don't keep up with any politics because of that. But if you want to describe for me what that is, please put it in the comments and I'll give you my thoughts on it, because I haven't actually, or I can Google it with you guys later on if you really want me to look at it. But yeah, right here, seeing this consolidation is great. And the reason that I like it is, look, to me, it's just an indication that Bitcoin could be in some sort of a bull flag pattern. I mean, I'm zooming into the 5-minute time frame, so really sorry for this. I know this is incredibly cringe, but I just want to take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin, where, it just looks to me like there's a series of ascending triangles that you can draw on this chart right here, really, that just indicate that, look, the market has pumped up above this level, we failed, went back up, failed again, but it's trending upwards overall, right? So the overall direction is very clearly upwards. In a case like this, just after we've had a breakout with big volume coming in, I'm always going to be leaning inherently bullish, right? Everything is going to be bullish. I'm looking at everything with green glasses. Take a look at the lights behind me. That's exactly why I chose those lights. Everything I see is going to be with the perspective of a bull here. And that to me means, one of the things that I'm quite well known for talking about in this space is, anything in this kind of context, which is neutral, is automatically going to be more in the bullish department for me. Anything which is bearish will be neutral. Anything which is bullish will be very bullish, in my opinion. And the reason for that is, look, I mean, there's not much that you can say here other than maybe Bitcoin is losing a bit of momentum, but it's in an ascending triangle. And look, I mean, everything's going to look amazing when Bitcoin's in a beautiful rally like this. I mean, the analogy I used to give you guys, and here we go back to my roots of giving you terrible analogies, is this girl in high school that you have a massive crush on, and she can do anything and it would just make you more obsessed with her. I mean, literally anything. Hair curly, you're obsessed. Hair straight, you're obsessed. You know what I mean? Like, literally anything that happens is a good thing, and that's, I think, the kind of place that Bitcoin is sitting at right now. So, literally, I think it's just a matter of time of, potentially some of these moving averages catching up, maybe Bitcoin falling down for another little kiss of support before rising back up. Those are the kind of things that I'd be looking at in this market right now. And honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing kind of pumped up during this live stream or shortly afterwards as well. In terms of possibilities of it dropping back down, I don't see it, and the reason I don't see it is because we had such a strong bounce from key levels previously. Now, I outlined this for you in one of our previous videos, so again, if you're not already subscribed, you would have missed that. Please make sure to fix that if you haven't done so already, and smash up the likes if you're enjoying this live stream already, because what I spoke to you about in a recent video was that from this top over here to this bottom here, we could be expecting some retracements down to levels like this green box and this green box. And unfortunately, we didn't hit my second green box, but we did hit my first one, so that's still fine. And I'm quite happy with that, because this is a very good place for Bitcoin to bounce off from. If I actually trace this box backwards for you and we really take a hard look at how important this level has been for the market, not just in this price range as well, to be honest, but going all the way back. Let me move this box for you so we can see this with a little bit more clarity. Take a look at this, and let's just remove this blue box now. I mean, this level has been an important level in the market for a long time. So, to be able to see this bounce here, I think is great. Like, look at this. There's a lot that's happened around this range. We originally were finding support here when we were trending up. We were then finding resistance when we were in this mini bear market. Then this big first Elon Musk pump ended right here. Another rally ended right here. Then we found support right here, and this support took Bitcoin all the way up to $56,000, which is exactly what I think we're going to see again right now. I mean, this has been an important level back then, and then more recently in this whole range, you can just see so much interaction with this very same price level. So to me, getting this bounce off this level is the best thing that could have happened. Well, the second best thing that could have happened to the market. The best thing would have been falling down here or even towards 20,000, but it's fine. It doesn't look like we're getting that now. And so bouncing off this level right here to me is still a very, very good sign. And it just gets even better when you throw on the Fibonacci retracement. I mean, these are the kind of things that really make me feel like, all right, this market has done what it needs to do in order to carry through its bullish bias. Like it's done what it needs to do in terms of making sure that it doesn't have to drop back down again. It's had an adequate retracement. It's rallied up really hard at first, which was obviously not healthy or sustainable, but it's pulled it right back with this retracement over here, right? Drawing it up to this high right here. It's so clear that Bitcoin ended up falling down to the 382 level and just simply finding support here. Then we found resistance at the 236 level, which, by the way, I warned you would probably happen on this YouTube channel. So that was cool. This is just a small trade. This is definitely not something I would trade because this is a little bit too close to gambling in my opinion, but it's still very cool to see how the analysis was correct. This is one of the things that I like to teach on this YouTube channel, where one side of things is the analysis and the other side is the trades, and they are separate. I mean, they complement each other, and you need one in order to have the other, obviously. But your analysis being right is a lot less important than your trades being right. It's actually of zero importance, because analysis on its own is never going to make you money. So that's something to keep in mind. But anyway, seeing these bounces off the 382 Fibonacci level is huge in my opinion. Of course, this is the mirror of the 618 Fibonacci right here. 1 minus 0.618 equals this number right here. So these are mirrors of each other on the Fibonacci retracement. If you don't understand how this works, that's fine. You can find the steps to join 4Slides VIP with the link in the description, although I don't think that I have those links. I don't think I have the pictures for instructions up on screen at the moment, but that is fine. This is a good Fibonacci retracement in my opinion, and it's just the kind of thing which, after we've formed this kind of retracement, after we found support with things like the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, look at how it just this is the thing for me with this chart, right? We have the Fibonacci retracement, we have the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, which is a good time frame for this indicator in my opinion, and then we have this huge sideways range. Where is it? It's not on this chart. It's on this chart. We have this huge sideways range that Bitcoin just beautifully bounced off from. When you get that combination of things, and this is the most important part, and then you exceed the prior high, what more can you ask for? If you're still in doubt by that point, you're just going to be missing out on a possible rally. I'm not saying this is going to rally hard, but obviously it's got all of the starting pieces for that, in my opinion. And the only thing that's missing still is that additional 3% rise, but I'm fine with it right now. I'm okay with the fact that we don't have it, because to me, it just looks like we're forming some potentially healthy consolidation right here before potentially carrying on higher. So the next thing to consider now is, where is resistance? Now I've been, I've been, the way I do this, by the way, is, I'll be very vague about where my targets are until we get close to them. And at first I was just saying that resistance is at 50,000, and then we got closer and I said actually it's around 46, 47, so we're increasing the accuracy of our analysis the closer we get to those levels. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, it's on a need to know basis. You don't need to worry about these things if you're $10,000 away from them. Now we're not. And number two, you actually can't form an accurate picture of analysis until you have all the data in front of you, right? And so if I wanted to talk about where the resistance is here while the price was down here, I wouldn't have enough data to be able to look at this adequately, because what I have right here, ladies and gents, is something very, very clearly where Bitcoin is forming very strong rallies, and right now we're potentially at the beginning of a next one, right? So if we do the classic flagpole measurement, we measure how high this goes, and then we stretch this to the beginning of the next rally. This is indicating a top for Bitcoin at nearly $51,000. So that's almost exactly what my original target was. And it's just that there's a fair bit of resistance that Bitcoin is probably going to encounter before that, stretching down to 47,000. And on the daily time frame, unfortunately, it does still have a lot of resistance from the Ichimoku cloud. And this is one of the things which I said in the previous video. I don't know how to form my opinion on this. I just, I wish I had the answers for you. Usually I'm pretty confident in what I'm saying. Right here, this is a very, very big area of resistance, and Bitcoin is still right in the middle of it. I mean, this is as bad as it gets, in my opinion, in terms of resistance. And it is, as well as the 200-day moving average right here. These are the only two things that concern me with this chart. This means when we factor in the Ichimoku cloud with the 200-day moving average with this box, that this means that this whole range is resistance. I mean, it's all in red, right? This whole area is resistance for Bitcoin, and that can pose quite a serious problem for Bitcoin, in my opinion. I'm going to go through all your questions in just a little bit. I see all of your comments. If you do want me to read your comment, make sure you write my name in your comment there as well. Otherwise, I will miss it. When you write my name, it highlights it for me, and that guarantees that I'll be able to read it. And if you are enjoying this live stream so far, by the way, please do smash up those likes. We got 1,000 of you right here, so thank you very much for tuning in. But yeah, like I said, there's just a lot of resistance here, and that is a little bit worrying. But then we have to contrast that side by side with, well, look, I mean, there's still, there's still a lot of bullish factors here. There is the fact that this trend has been very aggressive so far. There is great support on the 4-hour, 1-hour time frames, because obviously they have flipped bullish before the 1-day time frame has flipped bullish. There's a lot going for the market that can actually tell us, well, we're going to be able to break this resistance, but the resistance is still there. And at the end of the day, it really depends on what kind of trader you are, what kind of analyst you are, to let yourself decide, are you going to place more value on the 1-day time frame, which is still showing us some bearish signs, or are you going to place more importance on these shorter term time frames? And I don't have an answer for you there. I don't know. This is one of those things where I'm not even going to bother speculating. I actually, technically, I have speculated, but I can't tell you about that because that's all for VIP members only. But VIP members know all about what my Bitcoin position is, what it will be, different things like that. So they're getting all the updates there, and I've already told them about my plans to trade Ethereum as well. That's all inside of the VIP group, which is with the first link in the description down below if you want to gain access to it. But as for the analysis side of things, there's still a lot of resistance in this range, and that to me is definitely worrying. I'm going to take a look at some of your questions because I see quite a lot of them, and then I want to switch over to some more Bitcoin analysis again, and then some Ethereum analysis probably. So yeah, it's looking, yeah, it's okay, let's just jump straight to questions. Gold drop. Oh yeah. So other people are talking about the dollar index as well. I will talk about the dollar later on because it was very, very interesting what happened here. Manuel is saying, four flies, if the infrastructure bill in the US passes, all miners, nodes, basically everybody actively involved in crypto would have to KYC. The whole space seems very concerned about it. Yeah, I don't think that's enforceable. I'm not too worried about that. If there's anyone that is gonna raise the middle finger to the government, it's people in the crypto space. So I'm literally just laughing at that bill. I don't take it seriously, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not a politician, right? So maybe it's actually gonna have a big impact. But I don't. You mentioned people seem concerned about it. I don't think so, man. It's a pretty nice day for Bitcoin today. 3 white soldiers on this chart right here, 3 candles going up in a row on the daily time frame. That's a pretty good sign of strength in my opinion. Let's see what else we have. What do I think about the Elliott wave? Wait, I'm not going to talk about that because I don't like Elliott waves, but I did kind of cover that anyway. Should we ignore the dead cat bounce concept from the 50 MA weekly? Let's take a look at the 50 MA weekly to see what you're talking about. I wouldn't call this a dead cat bounce. I would say that this is Bitcoin finding support off a very strong moving average. So it was never a dead cat bounce in my opinion in the first place. I'm not sure why that's a conclusion that someone might draw, because to me that's never something weak in my opinion. Do I think Ethereum is driving the market for now instead of Bitcoin? You know, it might be. Let me take a look at where Ethereum is. Well, no, Bitcoin is up by 4.7% compared to Ethereum's 3%. So Bitcoin is definitely leading the market today, but Ethereum is in a great place. And I'm going to talk about this in just a minute because I think Ethereum's potential here is much better than Bitcoin's. I'm going to talk about this in just a minute when I get back to my analysis after I cover some of your questions. But for now, no, I don't think that Ethereum is driving the market. I think that it's actually Bitcoin which is driving a bunch of what's going on right here. Do I think the government regulations will affect certain coins over other coins? Absolutely, yes. Which ones should we worry about? All of them if their names are not Bitcoin or Ethereum. Four Flies, aggressive movement means faster top of the run. I don't understand your question. What do I make of the RSI? No real opinion. I never really have an opinion on the RSI unless there's a clear divergence. I guess there is a clear divergence, actually. It's a pretty bearish divergence. So that's an indication that this is the thing. I mean, it's been a bearish divergence. So just bring your attention to this really quick. The RSI has been in a very clear bearish divergence. Let's just look at this. It was in a very clear bearish divergence from about $34,000 up to 42. You would have been right for how long? If you traded this to the downside, you would have been right for 3 days. And now you'd be stopped out or worse, or liquidated. So the RSI generally is quite a useless indicator in my opinion. It's one of the first indicators that most people learn because it's a squiggly line on the bottom of your chart, so it's just easy to understand. It's easy to grasp a basic understanding of. But as soon as you start using shit indicators like this in practice, in reality, you're going to see that there's actually just not much utility that you can draw away from them. And that's why I tend to not use them. I want to go ahead and switch it back to my analysis here though. Let's just take a look at some of my notes, make sure I've not missed anything. I think one of the key things to take note of is just here on the 1 hour time frame. Bitcoin had a little bit of resistance right here on the 1 hour Ichimoku cloud, and we did get a rejection from this originally, but then we climbed back up really nicely, formed a beautiful bull flag, which Bitcoin could be doing again right now in a much tighter way. And this is just to show you that, we did have a little bit of resistance on the 1 hour time frame. The Ichimoku cloud worked very, very well on the 1 hour time frame to predict that resistance, along with the 200-hour moving average, which is very interesting. But then Bitcoin was able to overcome it quite easily. Bitcoin only struggled at this level for about 20 hours, and now obviously it's at highs that we haven't seen for many months. So I'm quite happy with how this is going. It's just another show that on smaller time frames we are breaking resistance, and we are doing that fairly well. One of the things I have to warn you about is the penetration of these Ichimoku clouds. A lot of people, including myself, will obviously want to ignore these signs right now and be like, yeah, but we're halfway through and this might not be a big problem for Bitcoin. If we got halfway through, why can't we break the whole resistance cloud? And I'm completely with you there, but I just want to draw your attention to where Bitcoin has done things like this in the past. On this occasion, Bitcoin broke into it, and this is where Bitcoin went from $20,000 down to $6,000, up to 11, down to 6, and then on this occasion up to $10,000. Bitcoin was able to penetrate this massive Ichimoku cloud here on the 1 day time frame, but it didn't get very high, and it got rejected from the 200-day moving average. So again, we've got the same resistance on our current chart right now. We have the same moving average and the same Ichimoku cloud. Well, not the same Ichimoku cloud, but we have an Ichimoku cloud as well, which is the same, at the same level. So it's the same combination of resistance that we encountered before. And another example right here is where Bitcoin actually was able to nearly break out of the entire Ichimoku cloud. Bitcoin got very close to the top of the resistance, but again, it just got a little bit too close to that moving average as well, and it still got rejected from the Ichimoku cloud. So we can get rejected at any points during these clouds. We can get rejected before we even enter them. We can get rejected when we're close to the top, or when we're just at any random point in between. And I think that's very important to take note of, right? Like, I'm not gonna I'm going to be holding my breath for this until we clear this resistance. But the issue is, as soon as we clear this resistance, we're in the $47,000 range, which is where there's new resistance for Bitcoin as well. So, it really depends on the kind of strength that Bitcoin is able to carry. But like I showed you with this flagpole extension, which I actually think is quite accurate, I generally tend to like these things in the market. This tells us pretty clearly that Bitcoin should be able to rise up to a high of $50,000, which is pretty much going to clear all of the resistance that we've been outlining in this video, in this live stream so far, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. And just the reason that I'm expecting this kind of, you know, strong upward movement to repeat again is because we already got it once, and we got it once when we had resistance, right? Right now, we don't have any resistance, in my opinion, until we get to levels like 46, with the exception of the Ichimoku and the 200-day moving average. These are only two exceptions. We don't have resistance on this chart, and definitely not on a more simple chart where we're not using any indicators. If we just stick to my chart right here with no indicators, there's just nothing that you could see as resistance, in my opinion, until we start hitting, you know, this 47k range. And to me, obviously, that's very, very exciting. But what's even more exciting about this is Ethereum in this market right now. And by the way, if you're wondering where I'm trading these things, it is all on the Bybit platform. So you can sign up to Bybit using the link down below. You're going to be getting some free bonuses deposited straight into your account. And this is huge because it means that whatever you deposit, according to how much you've deposited, you're going to be getting some extra free cash in there, which you can do whatever you like with. You can trade with it, you can gamble with it, you can learn what the buttons are, and we have a tutorial for that in the description as well. It's well worth checking out. Even if you already have an account with an exchange, you need a backup. You need a backup because your exchange can get hacked at any time. There can be downtime. There could just be any number of issues, and not having a backup in place is essentially it's setting yourself up to encounter a real problem down the line, you know, which could prevent you from trading and could cost you a lot of money. So if it's not Bybit, it doesn't have to be. You can Google it. There are many alternatives. If it's not Bybit, you should still have a backup. This is my favorite, and I've been using them for years. So check it out with that link down below. You can pause the live stream and come right back here. But let's take it over to Ethereum now. Because Ethereum right here on this chart, I mean, just look at this. There's no resistance that I can see for Ethereum right here after $3,000, $2,900, right? I'm going to draw another line right here at the $3,000 level. But I mean, from what I can see on this chart, look, Ethereum doesn't encounter any resistance the first time it rises up here. It doesn't encounter any support when it's falling back down. It's only afterwards, you know, around the 20th of May, where Ethereum starts to encounter some problems around the $3,000 range. And this is only one small rejection, and then another rejection here, and then another few over here, and since then it's now been you know just over 2 months really since Ethereum has been able to hit these levels. 71 days, you know, since Ethereum has been able to hit these kind of levels. It's now climbed back into this range, and the thing is that as soon as Ethereum is able to rise by, you know, if it does rise by just, you know, pretty much another, you know, $100 or, you know, $120, which is, you know, basically nothing, that's where I'm not going to be expecting any more resistance for Ethereum anymore. And that to me is quite exciting because obviously the potential for Ethereum to blow up here is so strong. The reason that I'm saying that is, and I did cover this in the last video, so if you're subscribed, once again, you would have been able to see this, but the reason I'm saying this is that there's not really any place I can see on this chart on the way up for Ethereum where it was encountering real resistance on the way up. There's no big rejection. We did have small ones right here, but we were able to recover pretty quickly. You know, again over here, this is quite a deep correction, to be honest, from 4,200 down to 3,600. I mean, that's what, like a $600 drop. It's, you know, maybe 15%. Let's calculate this. Yeah, it's about 13% drop right there. So it's, I mean, it's fairly sizable, but it's over really quickly. I mean, this is the 4-hour time frame, and Ethereum just really didn't have a lot of resistance here. And then on the way back down, it didn't really find much support either. You know, I mean, it did find support here, but then, you know, you give it another couple days and it's already broken below that support. 13th of May finds support, 17th of May, 16th of May, it breaks below that support. So, you know, it's not finding good support on the way down. It's not finding good resistance on the way up. And that just means that there's not really any areas in this chart that I think Ethereum can gravitate towards. And that means that the only important area on this chart above $3,000, in my opinion, is that all-time high, which 4Flies sold his Ethereum at right around over there. So again, that's a very, very impressive move that I made, which I cannot stop bragging about. But it's the only other level on this Ethereum chart right here, which I can see as being significant. And typically we're going to rise to those significant levels. And because I don't see any significant levels in between, it means that there's a massive $1,300 price gap here, which is just a lot of profit making potential. I mean, you know, without leverage, this is an extremely attractive gain of 46% if we rise above $3,000. And you slap on just a little bit of leverage. I'm talking 2, 3, maybe up to 5 if you're really pushing it. Let's say 3 times leverage, because that's what I would probably use for a move like this. A 46% profit is going to very quickly turn into a 136% profit, right? So if you put $10,000 in over here and you were able to ride it all the way up to the top, that would turn your 10K into 14.6K, which is great. But with a little bit of leverage, it would actually turn your 10K into about $24,000. So you can see how that gain all of a sudden, it more than doubles your money. It starts looking much more attractive, and there's just not much resistance here on this chart. And this is in stark contrast to Bitcoin right here, because Bitcoin on this chart, quite clearly, I think it has a lot of resistance in this market, right? It's got clear resistance right where it is at the moment. And then as soon as we rise higher, we're going to encounter more between 47 and 50. As soon as we rise above that, we've got more towards the mid 50s and 60s. There is just resistance all over this chart with Bitcoin. But with Ethereum, nothing. It went pretty much in a straight line up and in a straight line down. So it can establish resistance on the way up this time, and there's no way I can rule that out. It most likely, to be honest, it probably will. Maybe it's going to top out at a level like 3,600, which it struggled at before, and this time maybe we're going to consolidate for a little bit longer and then move up. But the overall point is that I think as soon as we're above this level, there shouldn't be anything real other than time. I don't think there should be anything that gets in the way of Ethereum rising from 3K back up to that all-time high. And of course, if we're going to rise up to that all-time high, I think we're going to be able to exceed it. And what makes this really exciting, in my opinion, is actually that, because Bitcoin has a lot of resistance right now, what I think is, just a possibility. It can happen in any number of ways, but what I think is definitely possible is that Bitcoin kind of hits a range like this, starts trading sideways, and it's precisely during this sideways trading time, which, might happen, time of this day of this live stream is 6th of August, 2021. Maybe it takes about 10 days for Bitcoin to get there, and then for the next, 10, 20 days, while Bitcoin, struggles in this range, it falls out, climbs back in, trades sideways in a bull flag, and then manages to pump up. Before this pump up, this sideways range right here, I think is going to cause enough bullish sentiment in the Ethereum market to allow Ethereum to really rally without Bitcoin. And I think that's where we're going to start to see Ethereum gaining a lot of strength against Bitcoin right here. And obviously that would be very exciting, because if we are in a situation where both coins are going to rise but Bitcoin has stalled, that's usually where Ethereum can go absolutely crazy. And actually, I want to show that to you on, well, I guess we can use this chart right here. Let's take a look at the daily time frame. And what I want to do is just overlay this with the Bitcoin chart, just to show you really that, when Ethereum really goes crazy, it's usually when Bitcoin is done. And this is something that I was talking about for a really, really long time. So those of you who've been around on this channel for a while, you're going to know all about this. This is a very, very big point. So if you missed it, now is your chance to make sure that you never miss something so important like that again. All I'm going to do here, just ignore these horizontal, in fact, let's just delete them for a second. All I'm going to do here is I want to, this is Bitcoin in orange. This is roughly, right here is roughly where Bitcoin stops, aggressively trending upwards. And right here is where Ethereum, aggressively starts trending upwards. So we can see quite clearly, like, look, a lot of this upwards rally right here, it's happening while, let's just remove this line so that we don't confuse ourselves, and let's really zoom in now and take a look at what's happened here on this chart. Bitcoin pretty much not moving anywhere. Looking at the y-axis on the left-hand side, Bitcoin only moving between $45,000 and $65,000, right? So this is not a big price gap compared to Ethereum. Obviously, in reality, this is a big jump, but only rising by $20,000 from 45 to 65 is not nearly as interesting as Ethereum being able to rise from $1,300 at this low up to 4,400 at this high, right? So Ethereum has pretty much, nearly quadrupled in this time, whereas Bitcoin only managed to rise by about 50%. So I just want to rephrase that again. Bitcoin rised up by, and this is very, very rough. You do the math on your own, but the point isn't going to change. Bitcoin managed to rise by about 50%, but as soon as Bitcoin kind of, started to stop trading aggressively, as soon as it stopped, it stalled a little bit, it moved a little bit slower, that's where Ethereum really blew up. And while Bitcoin moved up by 50% between these two red lines from low to high, Ethereum instead has moved up by about 300%. So, it's a very, very clear equation right there where Ethereum strongly outperforms Bitcoin when Bitcoin, and this is the most important part, when Bitcoin has already rallied and then stabilizes. When Bitcoin already rallies and then stabilizes, that's when coins like Ethereum tend to absolutely blow up. And the reason I know this is, first of all, I've seen it happen a million times, but second of all, you can understand it when you break down the psychology behind this. It's very simply that a lot of people in the Bitcoin market now, which is considered to be the safe market in this space, have made a lot of money, right? And as soon as you've made a lot of money and your market that makes you a lot of money starts to get a little bit boring, you're going to be very greedy to make more money because that's what you're used to. And so you're going to start looking at different ways that you can make money. This is like, the gambler that makes a shitload of money on one slot machine is going to then try 3 different slot machines to see if they can make more money. It's the same reason that people, after Bitcoin blows up, will then look at trading shit coins, right? All sorts of different shit coins that you see all over CoinMarketCap and Binance and any other shitty exchange out there. This is why people start to look at them. It's purely because they've already made money in a different market and now they've got dollar signs in their eyes. They're feeling very, very greedy and they want to put their money in something new in order to make more money. So, when you can start to understand these elements of psychology, combine it with a little bit of technical analysis, and see it happening enough times, that's where you start really tapping into the gold and being able to strike these things before they happen and position yourself to profit from them massively. We've been doing very, very well inside of VIP. A lot of members have been pulling some nice profits. Personally, I unfortunately lost money on my most recent trade. I lost about 15%, so I'm not super happy about that, but it's still a controlled loss and it's much less than what I've made in trades, so that's fine. But obviously any step backwards is a bad one in my opinion, but it's great to see other VIP members outperforming me. This person trading with relatively small trade quantities right here, only tens of dollars of profits, but still practicing. And obviously the main thing right here is just making sure that you're getting the main thing down. I mean, the percentage gains are the same no matter how much money you're trading with, unless you're trading with millions of dollars. And so just pulling beautiful gains right here. This person mentioning that is up over 100% in profit today. Stop losses all moved into profits. It's just absolutely amazing trade performance right here. Just going to show you that you don't need to be absolutely rolling in money to be able to join ForFly's VIP. We've got a lot of people with very modest, normal trading amounts just absolutely killing it inside of ForFly's VIP. But here's another guy who is trading with a slightly larger bankroll right here with a $10,000 profit, 25% gain, mentioning that taking profits never made a man poor. It's just absolutely great performance right here because these are people inside of VIP who are exercising great decision-making skills, in my opinion. This is somebody who is actively... I'm not showing you my... I'm not showing you the screen. Sorry about that. These are people who are actively making sure that they can... That's so embarrassing. I need to stop doing that. Who are actively taking steps to trade in reasonable ways, to make sure that they're not getting greedy, that they're exercising the right risk management and things like that. And that to me is just the winning formula for any trader. So it's all going down inside of ForFly's VIP. And if you want to see it, then as you already know, it is with the first link in the description down below. I promise you one day I will stop getting this wrong and I will stop hiding my screen by accident. I promise you one day. Today is not that day. Tomorrow will probably not be that day. But one day we're gonna get there. So yeah, sorry about that. Let's take it back to the analysis. And actually, first, before we get there, I want to take a look at your questions. So if you do have any questions, please drop them now. Thank you very much. I lost your name. Where is it? Bitcoin Fight Club for hitting the like button. Really do appreciate that. If you are enjoying this, then please go ahead and do that. Let's see what we have here. This person mentions, hey guys, I took out another mortgage and used my wife's credit card behind her back to buy more Bitcoin. So Nine Life Media is getting it. That's good luck. Good luck to you, mate. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. The infrastructure bill is huge. It will kill crypto in the US and is very near passing. Oh, Mark, the number of times I've heard people say something like that is yeah, I don't believe it. And the main reason is this: you don't need to report your crypto stuff. That's kind of the point, right? It's pseudo anonymity, and you know, trading is banned in China. Like trading Bitcoin is banned in China, but they're some of the largest. Like they occupy a massive percent of trading in Bitcoin, even though it's banned. So that's gonna, and that's China, right? And this is the US we're talking about. So China obviously has much more control over their people than the United States, and even they can't stop, Bitcoin traders, right? That's kind of the point. So I'm really not worried about that. And obviously they're gonna try. That's what they do. They're the bullies of the world. But I don't believe they're going to be able to find success from that. Even if they do, this is not the kind of thing that I think is going to really hurt the market too much. I'm not too, look, let's put it this way. If you wanted to go from Bitcoin into US dollar, like real US dollars, real cash, you wanted to buy a house, you wanted to, buy something legit in America, you would have to go through KYC and AML anyway. So this doesn't actually change much. In practice, and I think that's important to keep in mind as well. What do I think of the hammer reversal on the monthly for XRP? I'm not going to look at that right now. The bill will make it illegal to hold crypto wallets without sharing the private keys with US government. I need to read it because I don't know about those details, but yeah, I mean, I already know that you're not going to do that, Mark, and most people probably aren't going to do that either. The main thing is the US government has no way of knowing who these wallets belong to unless you leave a blockchain trail, and that's on you for not following the right operational security measures. Let's see what else we have here. Four Flies for Life, thank you very much. I don't know about that, but I plan on sticking around for a very long time. We'll see how it goes. Fourfly's got the natural ASMR voice. Yes, sir, I do. I haven't even dialed up the sex appeal yet, but we can get there if we keep if we keep moving in this direction. Am I Spanish? What's my ethnic background? I'm not Spanish. I'm from the subcontinent of India. Is Bitcoin setting up for a double top? If by double top you mean right here, no, it doesn't look like a double top to me. If you mean this right here and then dropping, actually, it could be. It definitely could be. Bitcoin needs to be able to rise from here. It needs to get out of this range. It needs to go above $43,000 conclusively. Right now, every time we get close, there are I've labeled as bots, and it might not be bots to be honest, but most likely they are. There's just something that's preventing Bitcoin from being able to pump above this level, and I know this because I was watching it live while it happened. I was looking at the order books. If you don't know what order books are, don't worry, you don't need to know. But this is a very clear sign right here, where every time we we punch. I mean, just look at this. Is on the 5-minute time frame. Every time Bitcoin tries to punch above this level, something is sending it back down, right? All these little wicks right here. Bitcoin is getting very, very clear rejections in this market right here, and obviously the few big ones. It is being held down, and a lot of that is probably profit taking, things like that. A big part of it, I think, is just straight up manipulation, and that kind of stuff, it doesn't last forever. When we get drops like what we just had, while I was talking to you just a few minutes ago, during this live stream. Is this a few minutes ago? Yeah, I think so. When you start getting drops like this and then they're able to bounce back up, that's as good as it gets. This is the best possible sign you can see, where the market drops, tests support, comes back up. All of these, manipulated resistance zones that we're seeing right here, they don't mean anything if the market is able to hold support after testing it. And really, I think that's what's going to be able to give it that power to rise higher. Obviously, I can't be 100% sure of it. It can definitely go in completely the other direction, but I just don't have the technical signs that show me that that's going to happen at the moment. What are my thoughts on the CME gap at around 32,000? I don't have any thoughts on it. I'm sure there's a CME gap, if I'm not mistaken, around $9,000 or $3,000 as well. It doesn't really matter. And also there's a CME gap above 60 or, above 50. So, it's not something that is particularly important to me. If anything, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy thing, and that is something that I would pay attention to. But as it is at the moment, I don't really care too much about it, and I think most analysts would, most credible analysts in this space would generally say the same thing. These things are, they're about as useful as watching CNBC, for your insights on these markets. What are my thoughts on Ethereum against Bitcoin? Some analysts like Tone are bearish. Well, Tone is always bearish on Ethereum. Or he's not always bearish, but he generally doesn't like Ethereum. I don't... Ethereum against Bitcoin, I didn't see this descending triangle that you're talking about. There is a descending triangle, actually, yeah. Well, I don't see this as being... This is... Ethereum is one of the only coins where I'm almost always in disagreement with Tone Vays about. And obviously this is why you've got to be able to draw your own conclusions on these things. Because, the analyst that you love the most, you're going to eventually disagree with if you have a pair of balls. And that's just part of being a real trader and a real analyst. So, I'm not worried about this. I actually think this is looking really good. I'm very, very happy with it. And this descending triangle, I've actually just spotted it. It's over here, indicating that Ethereum's probably going to break down. Well, we just got like the biggest breakout ever from here. So I really just can't be worried about this at the moment. I'm really not too concerned about how this is going at the moment. I do think it's going to outperform Bitcoin as soon as Bitcoin kind of rises up and then stabilizes. Come on, you should know more about blockchain. You can't hide, they will always know. Well, there are ways you can hide your blockchain trail. I'm going to leave you to Google that, but, because I'm obviously not going to talk about it here. There's no 100% way to be anonymous in this market, but I'm sorry, in this space. But, there are definitely measures you can take. And, the US government aren't the most competent people around technology. So, I would I wouldn't be too worried when you've done just a little bit. Have you seen Gareth? I'm not saying avoid your taxes, by the way. You should pay your taxes. If you don't want to pay your taxes, move to paradise like Dubai. Let's see what else we have here. Have I seen Gareth Soloway's prediction? No, I haven't. He thinks we will retest the old neck of the head and shoulders pattern that sent us down and you shorted, then back down to 20k. That would be very cool. I would still enjoy that more than rising, but I don't think that's possible at the moment. I hope it happens, but I don't think it's gonna happen. What do I have a target for myself? When are you done? A target? You mean financially? No. Actually, I don't have any targets for myself or anything. I'm just gonna keep on going. I like what I'm doing. I'm gonna stick to it. What do I think about a dead cat bounce with a rejection from the 200-day moving average? I don't understand your question, sorry. Is this a moment to step in, or is it smarter to wait to see what the market will do? If anything, this is where I would step in. If not here, maybe $1,000 higher, $500 higher. But I can't talk too much about that because this is actually touching on the topics that VIPs know about with my trades. So I can't talk about that too much, unfortunately. That's actually why I went silent. How London hard fork will affect in the long run? Will it make deflationary? I've never heard of that hard fork, mate. I'm sorry. When people are greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy. Generally, this works, but the issue is, look, people were greedy. Let me just break this down for you real quick. I'm gonna put something else to bullshit right now. This is where Four Flies taps into some real talk right here. Smash up the likes because you're gonna need this. Look, Bitcoin rised above $20,000 over here, and I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna pick a random point. Bam, right there. Okay, that actually I already picked that point in my head. But okay, let's just say I don't know this level right here. Bitcoin at $25,000. Bitcoin. Now let's just put this back into context of where the market was. Okay, let's be very thorough about this. Let's just put this to rest because I don't like these general terms. I mean, they're true, but like when you use them in practice, they're gonna hurt you more. And the reason for that is, like, look, let's take a look at this on the daily chart. Bitcoin hit the all-time high at $20,000. It then entered a bear market that lasted 3 years until we were able to top that all-time high again. 3 years? No, is that 3 or 4 years? I think it's 4 years. Is it 4? I don't know. 1,000. That looks like 3 years. Anyway, a long time until Bitcoin was able to exceed that all-time high again. It finally does, but only after trading sideways for 30 days. That's so much pent-up frustration right here in this market, where Bitcoin hasn't been able to reach above that all-time high for 3 years. It then finally teases it for 30 days, and then it finally blows up. Now, look me in the eye, if we were in person, at this price level, at this price level, at this price level, and tell me, looking at these price levels, tell me that people were not greedy. Draw the conclusion for yourself. Look at these price levels. Judge it by the context that this market was in. People were greedy as fuck over here. I was greedy over here. Right? Like, I was over the moon at these price levels. I was euphoric. Everybody was euphoric. But the market didn't drop. This was not the time to be fearful. The time to be fearful was months after this. Because we play the chart forward, and the price not only rises above 20k, not only doubles to 40k, it triples to 60. So these these edgy sayings, these things that everyone loves to talk about. Look at this, tops out at $65,000. Yeah, you were greedy over here. Good fucking luck, mate. You've just missed out on the rest of this rally. Like, being greedy, fearful when everyone's being greedy only works at the end. And that's and the reason this is important is, look, when you're analyzing this in hindsight and you're reading this in a book and it's showing you the Dow Jones Industrial Index in 1985, yeah, it's gonna look really obvious. But when you look at right now, the 6th of August 2021, and you look at what's happening in this market, those kind of things don't work, right? They only apply at the end of a trend. And you don't know when it's the end of a trend. You're going to have way more opportunities to be right if you just trade the upside during this kind of market cycle, which is exactly what I was doing, which is exactly what many of our VIP members were doing. Ripping profits, increasing our Bitcoin holdings, so that every time Bitcoin reaches higher levels, we have more Bitcoin. Bitcoin rises, our Bitcoin holdings rise, and we make money in both ways simultaneously. That's very, very important to take note of, right? I mean, everyone, and I'm not trying to throw shade at the person who mentioned this, because obviously it's true. But, what's very important to keep in mind is, with things like this and anything else that, is like an all-encompassing statement for trading, they're generally not going to work in practice. Trading is very nuanced. Trading is something where, analysis and all this, these are things where you have to be able to change your opinion regularly. You have to be able to take new data in. You shouldn't be stubborn. These things, they change. The climate changes. And the nuance, I think, is probably the most important one. This is an incredibly nuanced conversation, and being able to understand that, I think, is absolutely essential. So that's my piece on this stuff right here. So thank you very much for that great comment. And by the way, if you found that useful, you know what to do. Smash up the like, subscribe. I'm sorry I keep asking for it, but I have to with the algorithm. What are my thoughts on the club sandwich? I'm feeling hungry, but I'm not sure. I'd love to, but I haven't had a sandwich for years because carbs are the enemy. How am I doing? It's been too long. I am doing pretty well, thank you very much. How are you? Wyckoff was right all along? Well, apparently it was, yeah. That's very cool. Check my Instagram DMs? Yes, I will, no problem. I do check them every day. I'm sorry if I didn't reply to you. I don't reply to most of them, but I'll... it's only because most of them are generally just like people saying hi. Like, what do I reply with if someone says hi? Just say hi again. And then there's like 50 different conversations, just hi, hi, hi. it gets, it gets very repetitive. SEC just said ICOs are securities. Okay, well, that's not a surprise. So, when the U.S. government is saying stuff like this, it's like a crying baby saying, you can't take the TV remote from me. It's like, yeah, right, whatever, shut up. It doesn't matter. It's crypto. What are you going to do? Yeah, that's my take on those things. You're more than 10 years younger than me, but man, oh man, you are great at what you do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm here to prove that for the most part, age is just a number. For the most part. All right. With that, I think I'm going to start wrapping this up. If you have any final questions, now is your time to drop it in the comments in the live chat. Anything you want me to cover, ask me now. Otherwise, I will be wrapping up this live stream. Once again, take a look at these beautiful gains that VIP members have been enjoying. Just profit after profit after profit after profit. This person up over 100% in one day. Stop loss has moved into profits as well. Another person right here just earlier this month, 5 days ago, with a $10,000 profit. Mentioning again that taking profits never made a man poor. These are people who are exercising such great discipline in their trades. They're making good money. They're pulling good percentages, 25%. Take a look at this right here. Obviously, these are small numbers because you don't have to be an absolute millionaire to be able to join VIP. This is somebody who's trading with literally at $50, $60, $70 positions, $200 positions. These are not massive trades right here, but still consistently look 62%, 34%, 26%, 16% profit. Bam, 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 bam. And then another one, 350% profit right here, trading the upside. We've been trading the downside and trading the upside, whichever direction the market is going in. I want to be able to make profit from these things right here. So, it's been moving very, very well. And the key thing to keep in mind right here for these VIP members is that these are people who, they're making these big profits. They're pulling them consistently, but they're not letting dollar signs cloud their judgment. They're not getting the dollar signs in their eyes. They're staying cool. They're staying calm. They're sticking to their plans. They're exercising good risk management. And these are the kind of things that are boring. They're really, really boring to do. But that's what, cements your success in the long run. And I think that's what's so valuable. So, I believe I'm doing that fairly well in these markets. Obviously, these VIP members are watching me do that and then reproducing those kind of results as well. So if you want to be able to join For Flies VIP, gain access to what these people had when they were able to pull these kind of profits, then you can do so by clicking on the first link in the description down below and then following the steps around that link, which are going to take you to how you can sign up to VIP. And of course, if you are looking for an exchange, then once again, now's your time to sign up to Bybit with their beautiful referral bonuses, where you're going to be getting some free cash deposited into your account if you follow my link in the description. Let's see what else we have here in the comments in the live chat. Can I check out Dent? I would rather not, sorry. Do I think we're going to retest that descending trend line? Which descending trend line? I don't have a descending trend line on this chart, so I can't comment on that, sorry. Fees take all my profits. What should be my average trade? I can't advise you on that. And if your fees take all of your profits, it just means that your profits are not very big. Your profits must not be bigger than 2%. So go for bigger profits. What price level should I long Bitcoin? I can't tell you that, sorry. If you're a trader, this guy knows. If you're a trader, you don't need to know about hard forks, just the chart and market data. Absolutely spot on, mate. Anything else is noise and unnecessary information. Most of the time when you guys ask me if I've heard of something or what my thoughts are, I don't even know what the hell's going on. And that's by design. I don't want to know. I only want to know what the numbers are showing me, and that's it. So really genuinely could not care less about those things. Final question: if all TA looks like Bitcoin, is long short a good advice to use on my alts? Not necessarily, because alts are more volatile than Bitcoin, and because they're smaller than Bitcoin, look, put it this way: if Bitcoin rises up to, let's say, $50,000, it would be really hard to crash this market back down to 30,000. You would have to sell a lot of Bitcoin. You'd have to sell, I don't know, let's just say $500 million worth of Bitcoin in order to cause that $20,000 crash. But in order to cause the equivalent, what is this, minus 36% crash in the altcoin market, instead of needing $500 million of selling power, you might just need, I don't know, 20 million. You know, you would need a lot less for things to get really, really bad. And that's in both directions. You need a lot less for things to get really, really good. But it's just about, you know, where is the reward? You know, the reward might look a little bit higher on paper on an altcoin. And then where is the risk? And the risk might look a lot higher, right? So while you're gaining this much in reward, you're increasing your risk by this much. And then you start to consider, well, actually, that ratio doesn't really add up very well, and it's not a smart idea. At least that's my opinion. Yeah, Manuel mentioning, I don't know about the Ethereum hard fork, and I don't even know about the build topic. That's impressive, I have to say. You're really doing your thing. I really am, and I can't tell if that comment is sarcastic or not, but the point is, I mean, you know, I'm aware that there's a hard fork. I wasn't aware of this bill. The only reason I know about the hard fork was because I read it on Twitter, and I did not click because I didn't care. You know, these are just remind me how many forks Ethereum has had over the past couple of years. Remind me of that, and if you can, tell me what month they happened. I'm serious. Just try and remember, and you won't remember. In fact, better yet, point it to me on the chart. Show me where on the chart. Obviously this is Bitcoin's chart, but show me where on the chart, you know, Ethereum has had its forks. You can't do it. Show me. You know, there was a big. You know, when did Elon Musk first pump the market massively? You know, I mean, it was over here. But before I showed you this, you probably wouldn't have been able to remember. So, you know, most people, they can't remember these things because they're not actually significant. They look significant right now, and that's usually because you don't have good technical skills. As soon as you have good technical skills, they're not relevant anymore because the news, it's all, you know, obviously it's manipulation, and these are news items. You know, forks, bills, these are news items. You know, and at the end of the day, I have no reason to pay attention to them. I'm a technical analyst, you know, not somebody who cares about forks and different things like that. If the bull run resumes, where do I want to see Bitcoin top? Where do I see Bitcoin top? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. 100,000 would be nice. 300,000 is definitely plausible. 500-600K maybe the top, but I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea of knowing. I don't try and speculate those things. Two very interesting comments here. One person saying, but dude, you've been calling for 26K and 20K. Yeah, absolutely I have, and I'm very disappointed we didn't get there. And then the next comment here saying, traders make money on the way up and down, and this person, you know, perfectly answering the previous comment there, where even though I was hoping for Bitcoin to fall all the way down to these kind of price levels, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm still going to be making money on the way back up for Bitcoin. I'm disappointed that I couldn't make more money by Bitcoin not dropping lower, but that's fine. You know, it's, you know, analysis is one thing, trades is another, and you can see right here, you know, markets going up. VIP members have been really excelling. Markets dropping. We've been excelling. We were trading the downside really well during this downtrend right here. So to me, I mean, that's all I need. You know, I mean, you know, we didn't go to 20. Real shame. We didn't go to 26. Again, it would have been amazing if we did, but we don't need to. You know, that's not the only way you make money. I'm going to be making money on the way up just as much as I want to make it on the way down. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a stream there. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed it, please go ahead and smash up those likes, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to see where I trade, link is in the description for Bybit. And if you want to jump into VIP, it's the first link in the description. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.